last dragon. Aleida argues that the highest can't leave now, but Leanne pushes. Eventually, Tutama agrees to leave that night. After Leanne departs, Aleida points out that with the highest of the Red Aja going on a mission, they'll need a replacement. Galena agrees. The Red Aja needs a new sitter. But this is all part of Elaida's scheme. By leaking the plans to Min, she ensures that Siwan will send the Red Aja on a mission, leaving their leadership vulnerable. If Tutama is gone, Aleida can position herself as the new highest, tightening her grip on the tower. Galad and Gowan tease Matt while he practices with the quarterstaff. Nynaeve arrives to say goodbye, as she and Elaine prepare to leave for Tanchico. Matt invites himself along, hoping Nynaeve can help him with his mind issues. Galad butts in again, assuming Matt is bothering her, pushing Matt to challenge both brothers to a fight. 2 marks each says he can best them. Drawing on his strength from blowing the horn of Valair, Matt effortlessly takes them down with just a staff. Impressed, Nynaeve agrees to let him come. Unbeknownst to them, Min follows as they sneak out to board their ship. In Tanchico, Leandrin paints the city's sigil on the floor, whispering an old phrase, "From where you died, to where you were born." A flashback shows her cradling her son in the same room years ago. Returning to the others, she watches as Naomi studies the cuff, taken from the White Tower. Leandrin reveals its true purpose. It's used to control men who can channel. Somewhere in Tanchico, the matching collar exists. The Black Aja's true goal? To collar the Dragon Reborn, and lurking among them, disguised as a servant, is Moghedien. Rand undergoes sword training with Lan in the Threefold Land, while Moiraine watches from a distance. Egwene joins Moiraine, sharing a 2 rivers saying, "A watched pot never boils." Moiraine and Egwene meet with the Wise Ones, Bear and Melaine. Moiraine asks how they knew they were coming, and Bear explains that they can better see what is already happening than what is yet to come. Interestingly, they did not foresee Egwene's arrival. Bear also hints at the significance of Rand's presence. If he survives Ruideen, some Isle will as well. Melaine tells Moiraine that she too must enter Ruideen, or she will die, though she quickly realizes she wasn't supposed to reveal this knowledge. Nearby, Aviendha scolds Rand for carrying a sword so close to Ruideen, reminding him that the Aiel do not touch swords. When Rand retorts by questioning whether he is truly Aiel, Aviendha knocks him down and warns both him and Lon. She then challenges Lon, leading to an intense sparring match where Lon ultimately snatches one of her spears. Bear interrupts, reminding Aviendha of her destiny, not as a maiden of the spear but as a wise one. She breaks Aviendha's weapons, forcing her to relinquish her warrior's garb. Aviendha formally asks permission to enter Ruideen, which Bear and Melaine grant. Moiraine questions Rand about his decision to enter Ruideen, warning him not to be arrogant. He doesn't have to take the test right now. Rand, however, remains skeptical of Moiraine's motivations, believing she is acting in her own interests rather than his. The next day, Rand asks Ruach if he has entered Ruideen. Ruach reveals a dragon tattoo. Clan chiefs who pass the test receive 1, but the Karakan will bear 2. At Ruideen's edge, the Shadow clan, led by Wise One Savannah, gathers. She has married her late husband's son, who is currently inside Ruideen. Cúlaidan, his brother, declares that if his sibling fails, he will enter next. Bear reminds him that he must first seek permission. Rand formally asks to enter Ruideen, and the Wise Ones grant it. This enrages Cúlaidan, who sees Rand as an outsider. When Cúlaidan lunges, Bear and Ruach stop him. Egwene also wishes to accompany Rand, but the Wise Ones remind her that her path is separate. Moiraine also asks to enter and is granted permission. Before entering, Bear and Melaine explain their trials. Moiraine must walk through 3 rings that will reveal countless futures, while Rand will traverse the glass columns, reliving the lives of his ancestors. The Wise Ones ask them to leave their weapons behind, and it's amusing to see just how many blades Moiraine had hidden on her. With that, they enter Ruideen, the city in the clouds. Inside, Moiraine notices towering statues that don't resemble Aiel craftsmanship, and observes a strange, dry fog, where threads of the One Power occasionally flicker before disappearing. They soon encounter the legendary Tree of Life, Avenda Sora, which Moiraine explains is the reason for the Aiel War. Her uncle, King Lamon, cut down a tree from the Avenda Sora sapling entrusted to Carrion years ago to build his throne, leading the Aiel to hunt him down at Dragonmount for breaking the oath to protect the tree, where Rand was born. Rand realizes he and Moiraine have been connected since before his birth, the two separate to undergo their trials. Rand moves through the glass columns, witnessing his ancestors' lives. He first sees Muradin, Savannah's husband, struggling inside the columns. A powerful gust of wind thrusts Rand back in time, where he sees his father, Janduin, fighting in the Aiel War, and mourning his mother's death. Stepping further back, Rand watches another ancestor enter Ruideen and meet the Aes Sedai Lotra, who reveals the Sakanin, an ancient artifact. She declares the last true Aiel are dead. The men must walk in their ancestors' footsteps to learn why the Aes Sedai call them Oathbreakers. This moment marks the creation of Ruidian's glass columns. More steps take Rand to the moment where the Isle abandoned the Way of the Leaf. He sees Luwin, another ancestor, and his friends rescue their kidnapped sisters, killing bandits in the process. Because they resorted to violence, they are cast out, leading to the formation of the warrior Ael. Another vision shows Junduin leading the Aiel across the spine of the world, carrying Avinasora's sapling, dreaming of a desert city where the Aiel can find peace. Then, Rand sees events before the breaking of the world. His ancestor meets Lotra and Celinda, who entrust him with the Sakanin, warning him to protect it until the Aes Sedai call for it again. This sacred duty is passed through generations. As Rand continues, he witnesses Moiraine, before she became Lanfear, uncovering a new power source, one accessible to both men and women. This moment shatters the world, revealing the creation of the Dark One's prison. Moiraine senses a powerful presence. She stands before Avendasora and channels, which removes the vines concealing the Sacranin. She pockets it. She then spots Aviendha mid-trial, suspended in the air and screaming. Moiraine enters the Three Rings, experiencing numerous futures at an overwhelming pace. In one, she becomes the Amirlan seat and executes Rand. In another, she frees Lan from their bond. In yet another, she and Rand bond as Warder and Aes Sedai. Some show her swearing fealty to him, while in others, Lanfear brutally murders her over and over again. Rand stumbles out of the columns, dragon tattoos now burning on both forearms. Aviendha, unconscious nearby, wakes and instantly recognizes his new status. He is the Karakhan. She returns to the tents, but Rand refuses to leave without Moiraine. Outside, Lan and Egwene anxiously wait. Aviendha returned 2 days prior, but Rand and Moiraine have been gone for a week. Egwene wants to go after them, but Lan reminds her of their promise to wait. He begins to panic. Finally, Rand emerges, carrying an unconscious Moiraine. Lan rushes to her as she regains consciousness, cradling her in his arms. Rand and Egwene embrace. Moiraine wields the Sakanin, unleashing a dazzling display of power. But as the magic overwhelms her, she struggles to control it. Just in time, Lan intervenes, snapping her out of it. She collapses into his arms, drained yet euphoric. Lan, too, feels the rush of power, intoxicating, but also leaving behind an insatiable hunger. He presses Moiraine about what she saw in Ruidian's rings, but she remains silent. Rand and his group travel together as Egwene wonders if the Aiel clan chiefs will accept him as the Karakhan. Bear says the Wise Ones communicate in the dream and will urge their chiefs to meet Rand at Alcair Dal. But not all clans are open. Sivana and Couladin of the Shaido reject him. Aviendha, though not surprised, still finds it hard to see Rand as Aiel. As part of her Wise One training, Bear assigns her to stay with Rand and teach him their ways. They eventually arrive at Cold Rock's Hold, home of the Taudad Aiel. At Cold Rock's Hold, they are welcomed by Ruok's second wife Liane, and his great-granddaughter Alcera. Alcera bluntly asks if Rand is the Karakhan, and he shows off his dragon tattoos before interacting with the other children. Bear and Malaine invite Egwene to walk the dream. At the White Tower, Siwan reads a letter, inhaling its scent with a nostalgic smile, likely from Moiraine. Elaida barges in, mocking Siwan's taste in decor before getting to the point. She's calling for a hall vote to cage the Dragon Reborn. Siwan fires back, reminding Elaida of their last political battle, which Siwan won. Elaida lashes out, sneering that Siwan has been trashed since arriving at the tower as a 9-year-old, and that she's still lovesick over Moiraine. Varen and her sister Adelius discuss the Black Aja over tea. Siwan and Liane visit, and Varen reveals that the Black Aja operates in groups of 3, called hearts. Each heart connects to another to keep their full numbers secret. Leandrin, however, was linked to 4 hearts, meaning at least 12 Black Sisters exist. Since only 11 attacked the White Tower, 1 remains unknown. Siwan suspects Elaida may be one of them, and plans to lure her to the 13th Depository, where captured Black Aja members Joya and Amiko are being held. If Elaida tries to eliminate them, she'll expose herself. In Iman's field, Alana and Maxime settle in. Maxime urges Alana to leave, questioning why they're even here. Faelé, Bane and Shiad return with intel on Naughty Kothan and her daughters, who are captives of the White Cloaks. With a portion of their army off fighting Trollocs, and no reinforcements in sight, Perrin decides they must strike that night. At the White Cloak camp, Dain resists Eamonvalda's demand to interrogate Naughty and her daughters. But when he offers them water, Naughty tries to steal his key. Caught in the act, she takes the blame when one of her daughters channels out of fear, blasting Dain backward. Furious, Dain calls her a witch and throws her to Volda. Outside, Perrin, Bane and Shiad prepare to rescue them, with Fael insisting on joining. Alana plans to create cloud cover with the One Power, despite Maxon's warning that the White Cloaks will detect it. She dismisses his concerns. Later, Maxim confronts her about why she's really in the Two Rivers. She confesses she's building an army. Maxime scoffs at the idea of an army of farmers, but Alana counters that the blood of warriors flows in Two Rivers folk, stating Rand and the others as examples. Maxim thinks they should hunt down Leandrin instead, but when Alana cuts their bond, he storms off. On a seafolk raker bound for Tanchico, Matt, Nynaeve and Elaine have been locked below deck for 2 weeks. Nynaeve suffers from seasickness, much to Matt's amusement. Elaine reminds them that they have been confined as per their agreement with the sail mistress, Coin. However, when Elaine notices they are traveling far too quickly, Matt ignores Elaine's warnings and heads above deck, with Elaine and a sickly Nynaeve following. Coin approaches and, despite their rule-breaking, helps Nynaeve with her nausea. She allows them to remain above deck, where they witness a seafolk woman channeling, explaining how they've been moving so fast. When Elaine and Nynaeve ask why she never trained at the tower, Coin warns them against reporting this to the White Tower, revealing that not all channelers seek Aes Sedai training. She tells Nynaeve she struggles to touch the source because she resists change, while Elaine fights against the current of her own destiny. Matt later finds Min aboard. She's been tailing them, hoping to prevent the vision, one where Matt hangs from a noose before a red-framed doorway. Matt brushes it off, saying not all her visions come to pass, but he's visibly shaken. Below deck, Matt introduces Min to Nynaeve and Elaine. Min offers to help them navigate Tanchico, and she has more knowledge about Leandrin. Matt vouches for her, revealing that Min worked as Saiwan's spy. They eventually get to Tanchico, where Min gives them the rules. No eye contact, no talking to strangers, and it is imperative to keep Elaine's royal status quiet. Into Larenriad, the dream world, Egwene learns to control her thoughts, accidentally manifesting armor when she feels unsafe. Bear tells her that the mysterious woman invading her dreams can be expelled if Egwene truly believes she doesn't belong. Suddenly, Egwene finds herself in a Tar Valon marketplace, where Lanfear appears and lifts her by the throat. Before things turn deadly, Egwene jolts awake. The Wise Ones realize Egwene is being stalked by a Forsaken.